Hey Falcons fans! There was a big buzz going around the web recently. Let's break it down, but before we dive into today's exciting news, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. We have some big rumors floating around that could shake up our defense, and you're definitely going to want to hear about them. So, let's talk about Devin White, the former Pro Bowl linebacker who was just released by the Philadelphia Eagles. This guy was a $4 million offseason signing for Philly, but things didn't pan out the way they hoped. White didn't even play a game for the Eagles. He missed week 1 against the Packers due to an injury, and after that, he was either a healthy scratch or missed games due to personal reasons. Now that he's hit the open market, CBS Sports has floated the idea of White landing here with the Atlanta Falcons. And let me tell you, that could be an intriguing move for our defense. CBS Cody Benjamin pointed out that we could use some more depth at linebacker, especially with Troy Anderson dealing with injuries and Caden Ellis being better suited as a pass rusher. Think about it, White is a boom-bust type of player, but he could use a fresh start here in Atlanta after things went south in Philadelphia. Plus, we've shown that we're not afraid to make bold moves when necessary. We're now 3-2 and leading the NFC South, but beefing up our linebacker core could give us an extra boost to keep that momentum going. So what do you think, Falcons fans? Should we take a chance on Devin White and give him this fresh start? Do you think he could be the boost our defense needs, or is it too risky to bring him into the fold? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. So, here's the latest. The Falcons made a move to fill their final spot on the practice squad, signing offensive lineman Matthew Cindric. If you're unfamiliar with Cindric, he played guard and center in California before going undrafted in 2024 and signing with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, with Andrew Stueber signed off our practice squad by the Cincinnati Bengals, Cindric's addition is essential for some extra depth on the offensive line. He may not be a household name yet, but depth on the offensive line is critical, especially as we head into the midseason. Along with Cindric, the Falcons also added tight end Armani Rogers to the practice squad earlier this week. And here's the part that should get us all excited. Linebacker Nate Landman has officially been designated for return from injured reserve. His 21-day practice window is opened, which means we could see him back on the field soon, just the boost we need on defense. But remember, he won't officially be on the roster until the team activates him. So keep an eye on that. Now, as we head into Week 6 against the Carolina Panthers, let's talk about the game. Kickoff is this Sunday at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll head to Charlotte's Bank of America Stadium as 5.5-point favorites. Falcons fans, this is a big game for us as we look to extend our lead in the NFC South. Be sure to check out the updated depth chart before game day and keep those game day traditions alive. But wait, there's more to this story. Let's switch gears and talk about the guy who has been the heart of this Falcons team in 2024, Kirk Cousins. After last season's struggles, particularly at quarterback with Desmond Ridder throwing costly interceptions, the Falcons made a bold move by giving Cousins a 4-year, $180 million contract. And let me tell you, through 5 weeks of this season, Cousins has been worth every penny. Think about it, without Cousins, we might be sitting here talking about mock drafts instead of dreaming about a postseason run. He's already led 3 game-winning drives, and we're 3-2 atop the NFC South. For a team that has struggled to find consistency at quarterback for years, Cousins has been a game-changer. In fact, Cousins' numbers speak for themselves. He's amassed 1,383 passing yards, which is 5th best in the NFL right now. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, tied for 3rd in the league, and last week, he had 509 passing yards, the most by any QB this season and the most since Joe Burrow's monster game in 2021. Those are elite numbers, folks. What's even better is how Cousins is spreading love around our offense. One name that has really surprised us all is wide receiver Darnell Mooney. The chemistry between Cousins and Mooney has been golden, with Mooney already racking up over 300 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns in just 5 games. That's the kind of connection that could carry us deep into the season. Now, Falcons fans, we all know that Cousins has faced his fair share of criticism throughout his career. Some say he's overpaid, others question his ability to win big games. But here in Atlanta, he's been nothing short of a savior. Not only has Cousins saved our season, but he's also given us something we've been craving for years, hope. Hope that this Falcons team is finally turning the corner and putting the struggles of past seasons behind them. So, what do you think? Was Kirk Cousins worth every penny for the Falcons? Can he lead us back to the playoffs for the first time since 2017? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, Falcons fans, it feels good to be on top of the NFC South, especially after a wild Thursday night football game between Atlanta and Tampa Bay. In a tight contest, the Falcons came out on top, defeating the Bucs 36-30 and reclaiming their spot as division leaders with a 3-2 record. Let's take a quick look at where the rest of the division stands. The Saints, after starting the season strong at 2-0, have now lost 3 in a row and find themselves with a losing record of 2-3. Meanwhile, the Panthers continue to struggle, sitting at 1-4 and looking outmatched so far this season. So what does all of this mean for the NFC South? The division currently sits at 9-11 overall, and the Falcons are the only team with a perfect 2-0 record in the division. If Atlanta can keep up this momentum, they have a real chance to dominate the South this year. Let's start with the Bucs. They had control of the Falcons for 90% of the game, but ultimately, they couldn't finish it off. Bucky Irving's fumble with less than 2 minutes remaining was the turning point that allowed Atlanta to steal the win. Now, Tampa Bay is feeling the pressure. With injuries piling up, more of the burden is falling on quarterback Baker Mayfield, and his margin for error is shrinking. If the Bucs want to keep up with the Falcons, they'll need to capitalize on a New Orleans Saints team that's falling apart. One more slip-up, and Tampa Bay could fall to 0-2 in the division and fall behind New Orleans. Speaking of the Saints, things aren't looking good in New Orleans. They've lost 3 straight games after starting the season 2-0. Their once potent offense has stagnated, with Chris Olave becoming a non-factor and Alvin Kamara not producing at the level we've seen in the past. To make matters worse, Derek Carr's health remains a big question mark. Then there's Carolina. The Panthers are having a tough year, sitting at 1-4 after a crushing 36-10 loss to the Chicago Bears. This one must have hurt even more with former Panther DJ Moore throwing for 2 touchdowns. The Panthers are paying the price for their risky trade to draft Bryce Young, who is no longer the starter. And now, let's talk about our Falcons. After that big win over Tampa Bay, Atlanta is 3-2 and leads the division with a 2-0 record in the NFC South. It hasn't been easy, but this team is showing grit and determination. The key now? Proving they can win while they're on top. The Falcons will face a Carolina team that is down but definitely not out. This is the kind of game Atlanta has struggled with in the past, especially under Arthur Smith. Remember last year's ugly loss on December 17th? Yeah, we don't want a repeat of that. But if the Falcons can come out strong and pull off another division win, they'll be 3-0 in the NFC South, having defeated all of our division rivals. This weekend's matchups have big implications for the division standings, with all 4 NFC South teams going head-to-head. Can Atlanta come out on top, or will Carolina and New Orleans drag us down? We'll find out soon enough. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Can our team hold on to the division lead and make a serious playoff push this year? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated. Go Falcons!